In this lecture, we are going to continue scripting our packet snipping tool. And remember that in the last lecture, we were able to achieve getting the packet snipping tool to get us all the URL links that are being visited on a particular computer. So when we snip the packet, we'll be able to see the URL site that the user of that computer is visiting. Though we run the attack on our own computer, then subsequently you can see how we can put use this tool alongside the previous tool we scripted, that is the ARP spoofing tool, to put us in the middle of connection between two computers, and then we'll be able to snip the packet that those two computers are communicating between themselves. All right. So now another feature we are going to add to this our analyze packet function is how we can be able to get the login credentials that a victim computer is inputting in any website. That is the username and password. Whenever the user of the computer visited any website and enter username and password, we will be able to see the username and the password, capture it from the get it from the packet that we snip, and then see the username and the password. But we don't know how to do that. We don't know which layer of the packet currently now contains the username and the password. So to do so, to help us get the packet layer that contains the username and the password, we are going to did as what we did earlier, that is invoke method show of Scapy to see details about a packet, and then we are going to visit a website where we have to enter our username and password, and then we will see which layer of the packet contains username and password. So to do so now, let me comment this one out so that it will not execute, it will not print anything, and then I'll come down here. I'm going to write print. Okay, outside this, I'm going to print out the packet that we pass to this function as argument. Print. Okay, so since we are invoking method show, we don't need to use print method. Just a packet dot show, and then we run this program, and then it is going to invoke method show of Scapy on this particular packet, and then we are going to see detail about that particular packet. So now I'm going to go to the terminal. This time around, now we are going to be making use of a terminal called Terminator. So I'm sure Terminator. So just come here and type Terminator. I already have it installed, but I'm going to show you how you can also install this particular terminal emulator. So after it is launched, you are going to see how you can also install it on your computer. All right. So let me increase the font. All right. Let me zoom in. All right. So now to install this terminal emulator, now all you have to do is just come to the terminal and then type sudo apt install terminator and just hit enter. So now this will proceed and install Terminator, this particular terminal for you. So I already have it installed, so it will install because I already had this. I'm even using it right at this moment. So let me clear the terminal. Now, one good feature about this terminal is that it enables you to split it either horizontally and vertically. So that is a very good feature with this particular terminal. I can split this terminal into four sections, as you can see on the screen. So split it again. So as you can see, this will enable me to run several commands on different section of the emulator. So let me exit here, and then I'll come here. I'll also exit. So I'll exit here as well. All right. So here we are. So let me navigate to that directory where we have our packet snipping tool, desktop, lectures, and then let me clear the terminal. And then now I'm going to run my packet snipping tool. So sudo python 3, then packet snipping.py. I'm going to specify my interface eth0, and then I'm going to hit enter. So now the packet snipping tool is currently working now. So I'll go to a website where I have to enter my username and password, like this particular website. So I'll just come here, click on login, and then I will enter my username Faisal, and then enter any password. So let me enter 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All right. So also period to that, before I run this script, we need to enable a particular feature in this particular. Okay, that's already begin running. So let me stop it. We need to enable a particular feature in this particular terminal. All right. So just right click here, and then go to references. So under references, come here under profile, and then come under scrolling, and then make sure this infinite scroll back is enabled. So the essence is that if it is on scroll on output, that means that the initially by default it is scroll on output. Then that means the scroll back is limited to only 500 lines. But when we enable infinite scroll back, then we are going to have if it is all right. So by default it is scroll on output. That is it is limited to 500 lines. So it is only going to stop at 500 lines. When it reaches 500 lines, it's going to stop. But when we enable infinite scroll back, then it enables us to scroll down infinite, so it's not limited, so we can go as far as we want. Okay, so make sure this particular button infinite scroll back is ticked. So I'll exit here, and then I'll come and run the particular Python script. I'll hit enter, and then I'll go back to that particular website where I have to enter my username and password. So I'll just click login, and then don't save, and then I will reload it again. Make sure that I capture the username and the password contain the packet resend. So it's going to resend the username and the password that I inputted in that field, and then when we go off, we are going to see it in that particular packet. So we can see that our packet sniffing tool has already snipped the packet for us. So I'm going to stop the program here, and then it will scroll back to see which particular layer of the packet contains the username and the password that we inputted. And then using our knowledge of Python scripting, we are going to see how we can get the username and the password that anybody inputted into any HTTP website. So now let me scroll back gently and then try to see which layer of this packet contains username and password that we inputted. So we keep scrolling, we keep checking gently. So we find the particular layer that contains the username and the password that we inputted in that particular login field. So go down gently. Okay, and here it is. So we can see that it is in this particular layer. This is Ethernet layer, this is IP layer, and this is a layer called row. So it is a row layer, and within the row layer, it is in particular field called load. So the layer is a row, and then the field is load. So under load, we have name equals to Faisal, and pass or the password that inputted 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So we can see it here. So using this knowledge now, we can be able to script we can add some code to our tool to enable us access this username and the password that a user entered in a website. So let's go back to our Sublime Text editor and then see how we can add that particular feature. All right, so let me we are done with this, so I'm going to delete it now. We in line number 33, we're able to access the HTTP request layer. So we are going to use the same thing, but this time around we'll be trying to access the SCPI layer. So if SCPI layer has row, SCPI.row, because when they have seen the name of the layer is row, so we say SCPI if packet has layer SCPI, because it is a SCPI layer, so SCPI.row, then we want to do something to that particular packet. We want to do something. So here we are putting a condition. If the packet has this layer SCPI.row, then we are going to do something. Now, and what we are trying to do is to access the username and the password that the user enters. Okay, so we can say login or credentials, or we can preferably we can make use of since we are trying to access the load field, So we are trying to get the whole of this, but out of this we'll be able to extract the username and the password. So we are trying to access this particular field load. So we will say load, we can say load equals to, and then we'll be able to access. We know that it is in packet, this particular layer skp.row, skp.row, which is the name of the layer. As we can see it here, row, it is in layer row, and the field is load. So skp.row, and that under that particular layer, we want to access a field called load. So we see because load equals to packet skp.row, in this particular layer skp.row, we want to access the load field. Okay, so now let's print the this particular load and see whether we have been able to capture it. So I will leave this one commented out. We are only interested in this in printing this load for now. So I'll go and run the script and see what we'll be able to get as the output. So I'll go back to my terminal, stop this from running, then clear the terminal, and then run the script again. So I'll run it and then go to that particular website, and okay, so try to log into the website and then enter the username and password 123456789 and then log in. Okay, so I'll go back to my terminal and see what I have. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so let's scroll up and see what we have. Okay, so this is a lot of gibberish data that we have. Okay, so let's scroll up, to the up. Okay, so to make this output more user friendly, let us put some demarcation after printing each of the load, because this is printing more than one load field, So let's, after printing this out, let's print some demarcation, or let's print a new line character. So let me put this as in a string, and then let's have some let's print out a new line character. So let's have some space in between the load fields that are going to be printed out. So let me put this right. So new line, and then add another new line character again, and then let me save this. Console. So let me go back again and run the Python script. So I'm here. I'll enter the login details. The username is already there, so let me enter the password 123456789 and then login. Now I'm not saving anything. I'll go back to the terminal again. Wow, okay, so it's printing it out. We convert it to a string, so it's all right. So let's do something. What I'm going to do, let me just go back again, and it's converted to string. So it is wow, so it's just printing load string literal. It's not printing, we are not accessing the actual load. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I can use string format if I want to still put this. So I can just put though it is a void character. Okay, so or I can do format as we did earlier, and then I can put this load, and then I'm going to put load, and then I'm going to print it out. So okay, so let's go and see it how it is now. So I'll go back and run the code again. Run the code, go back to my website, login. Okay, the username is there. Let me enter the password 123456789 and then I hit enter. No, I'm not saving anything. Don't save anything. Don't save. So go back and see what we have as output. Okay, so great. So the output has been improved. You can see some demarcation. This is one load field. This is one load field that has been printed, and then this is another load field. But let's check this load field. Do we have any username and password? We can't see any username and password in this particular load field. So let's go up again and then see. Wow, this is a lot of gibberish. this is a lot of gibberish. So let's scroll up. Let's scroll up to the front of to the beginning of the terminal. Okay. So here we have, this is the post. This is a load field that contains our username. I can see the name Faisal, and then the password 123456789, and then this is another load field that contains a lot of gibberish data. Okay. A lot of gibberish. It doesn't contain username and password. So basically what we can conclude from here, we can see that load field, not all load fields contain username and password. Not all load field contain username and password, but we are only interested in load field that contain username and password. So we are going to further refine our code so that it will only print the load fields that contains the username, possible username and password. So I'm going to stop this from running, and then I'll clear the terminal. So let's go back and see how we can further refine this our program so that it will only print the load field that contain username and password. All right, so what we are going to do is that when we go back to the particular web page where we inputted the username and the password, and then in this particular login field, when we say login, so in this particular login fields where we have to enter the username here and the password here. Now let's try to see what name do they give to the field here where we have to enter our username, and the name of the field here where we have to enter our password. Usually names such as name, username, password, and login are being used to create this particular login fields. So let's say view page source, and then let's see how those particular fields were named. So to assist our search, let me search for within this particular field. Let me search for anything pass. Okay, so we can see password, and then this particular login field name is pass, and then so the name of the login field where we have to enter our name is pass, and then the name of the login field where we have to enter our username is name. So here name, and then you can see that where we enter our where we enter Faisal as the username. So you can see that where it contains Faisal as the username, it has already been assigned here, though we haven't clicked on login for it to be posted to that particular server, so that it will authenticate our username and password. But you can see basically the name of the field is name is the name, and then the name of the field where we have to enter our password is pass. Now using this knowledge, now we can go and refine our code so that it can filter the load field so that it will only give us load field that contain possible username and password. So to do that, now to achieve that, I'm going to create a list that will contain possible username and credentials. So I can see credentials. Okay, so what name do we give it to it? Let's say keyword or keywords, and then create the list, and then it will contain all the possible names that are being used to name the login fields. Like when we visited that particular web page, we can see that name is being given to the login field where we have to enter our username, and then pass was given to the name where we have to enter our password, and then other possible names that are usually used to name those fields is login, and then user or email, and then username, and then password. Okay, so name, pass, login, user, email, username, and password. You can add to the list. If you feel there is more words that are possibly used in naming those login fields. So now we have created a list containing the possible keywords that are used in naming the login fields. Now we are going to iterate through the list, and then check for those element of the list in our load field. So to do that, we are going to make use of for loop. now, and then we are going to make a use of an element for keyword in keyword. So for the keyword in keyword, now each time this loop run, the element, the variable keyword will now be assigned with the value of an element. So each time, for the first time, it will contain the value name. Next time, it will contain the value pass, and then we will use it to check for the presence of that particular keyword in our load field. So for keyword in load, now we can use a if conditional structure. If keyword, if this particular keyword is in load, then we want to now print the we want to now, okay, we already have it so I'm going to we are going to print the load now if it is content in that. So let me, okay, so basically what we are doing is that we are checking for the presence of the keyword. So each time we are iterating through the list. So for the first time, keyword variable will have the value name. Next time it will have the variable pass. Next time it will have the value login. And then we will be checking it now using if conditional structure. We will be checking for the presence of that particular keyword in our load field, because here we know that the load field contains the load field of our packet. So we are checking if it is contained in that particular load, then we want to print the load. Else we are not interested in that load, since it doesn't contain the username and password that we are hunting for. Okay, that we are hunting for. Okay, so let me save it, and then let me go back and run the program and see if there's any error. Then we fix the error, and then we can proceed. So run the program, run the script. Okay, the script is running. So I'll come back here, and then okay, I will close this. We are done with it. So let's enter the password. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then login. Okay, so now we go back to our script. So something is wrong with our script. Our script failed to execute. There happened to be an error. Type error, a byte line object is required, not string. Okay, in if keyword a load, so a line number 42. So let's go back to line 42 and see how we can correct that type error. So line 42, if keyword a load. Okay, so if keyword a load. Okay, so to fix this error, because we are checking for a string in, because load is not a string data type, it's in byte. It's in byte data type, as we have seen in the previous lecture. The packet is converted into byte data type, but keyword still is a string. So for us to check, and we have to convert this to a string. So I'll convert it to a string, and then we can be able to safely check for the presence of the keyword in the load field now. So I'll go back again and run the code and see whether this has resolved our issue. So go back here. Okay, let me so go to the terminal and then clear the terminal. Now run the script again, then go back to that particular website and then try to enter the login credentials. So I'm going to enter the password now, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then click on the login. Okay, so go back again and see whether our script has run successfully. So good, so our script is running successfully, and we can see that all the load field contain username and password. So we can see the first, this is the load field, Faisal, password, name, Faisal, and then the pass 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we can see, so our script is working successfully. Our script is working successfully. Okay, so and also we have seen in the earlier lecture how we can get rid of this byte notation, meaning that this data type is a byte data type. So we can see how we can get rid of it. So we can when we can go and invoke method decode and then get rid of this byte in our output. So I'll stop the script from running. I'll clear the terminal and then go back and see how further improvement that we can implement on our code. So print string.load, so we can even decode it from here. We can invoke method decode on it, the decode, so that we can and then go back and run the program again and see whether this has is resolved our issue. So, or we can even we can if we don't want to do it here, we can also do it within the here we can invoke method decode here, and then we that is one of the good feature of this new way of formatting strings. So and then we go and run the code and see whether we have been able to get rid of that byte notation. So come back here and go to the login, then enter my password 123456789 and then login. Okay, so go back and then go and examine the output. So great, so great, we have been able to get rid of that B notation, which is signifying to us that this is a byte data type. So we have successfully decoded it from byte to string. Okay, so I can stop the program now.